I think that we could have been more uh, proactive as far as like, she could have been the cut person and just me screwing, or she could have been the screwing down the sheets, and I could have been cutting. At first, it was more of us working together. Yeah.
Okay, so we need to establish who's the cutter and who's the screwer.
Yes, although we were doing the ceiling.
Yeah.
So
So,
we
the
couldn't really
ceiling
do that
is
by
a little
ourselves.
different, right?
Yeah.
But once we get to the sides, I get they're heavy sheets,
Right.
and we're still got to put them up. But I think there is a way to keep a flow going.
Initially, you were drilling just because I do upper body strength, like on those top screws, is very difficult.
And we were
for
having
leverage.
trouble with them going all the way in. And then I don't know. I trust her to make pretty. I mean, I seen her cut. She makes good cuts. So I think it was just more me having trust in her to. Okay, she's got the cuts. I can do the screwing, because the screwing in some places, you have your plates and everything, or they're not going all the way in. So I just took it upon myself to go over the screws and everything. Yeah, if you have one partner that's more precise and one that's really not, or more of the muscular guy, then give him the screwing job and
Perfect.
you the
So-
cut person.
Yeah, so at the beginning, Dan had us using various blades to cut. And we broke a couple, and they're a little messy, and sometimes with all the force, you break the drywall as well. When we switched instructors, Corey said, "Where's your oscillating tools?" And which we didn't have. And we got those, and it was much quicker and much nicer cuts.
Well, number one, you need your tape measure.
Yep.
That is 100%. You need this. Your square, your regular square, as well as your drywall
square.
which is right here.
Your big level.
Big
You wanna
big
make
level
sure your
is
pieces
big.
are straight.
Yes.
Blade, we were cutting all day.
Oh, yes, blade.
Oscillating tool, couple batteries. We did use even some of these drill bits here to get the drain holes cut out for the plumbing.
As well
So
as
that was something new we haven't done before.
And-
So the students have not been given either one of these, and I'm not sure who NEB is, but Corey had to go get these for us.
that's Nelson Brown.
Okay, so these are Nelson's.
Yeah.
The students don't have the right sizes.
Okay.
So ours are too large or too small, and same for this size. This is a 3/4, and that I believe is a 2.5.
Did you use the 3/4 or just this one?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, 3/8.
3/4 is for right here.
3/8, and
yeah.
this is the 3-inch
1 3/8.
For the
sink drain.
sink drain.
Okay,
Correct.
great.
Those were kind of the same from
Yeah.
before.
I would say though that the oscillating tool probably would have saved us a little bit,
From
a couple
before?
minutes,
Yeah.
because we were cutting with these, and of course after a while your arm starts getting tired, or you're a human
They
being.
get
you're
wild.
fatigued.
Let's
Right?
get wild with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So we had a little
That was
boo-boo
Dan,
there.
actually. Dan was measuring and helping us. This was our first piece.
Yeah.
And we had it was facing one way, and he was measuring it the
He was
other way,
picturing it
and
another
then
way.
we put it up.
Yeah.
We
Right.
did.
Right.
Okay,
We're
patch
gonna patch that up.
Is
It's workable and it can still be patched.
we can just patch that.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you save that
Mm-hmm.
piece, and that you have it.
Yes.
You didn't lose that piece, did you?
Well, so I saved it, and Dan told me it was trash, and we would use a bigger piece, and that piece would not fit because of all the cutouts. So we didn't save it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried
Either
to.
way, we could probably cut a little square with the flanges of the paper out, and then once you go to mud, it'll sit
That's
really
true. So
nice.
that is.
Yeah.
I think something is the measuring in reference to other things. So that's something I kind of knew before, right? But with Corey right now, especially on this wall where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes on one piece of drywall. If you get any of your measurements off, or if that's a little crooked, all of a sudden these start drifting. So don't just measure from your end and from your top, but also measure like from here to there. Is this consistent? Before you cut it, measure between everything, some of these distances, to make sure that nothing got a little skewed. So that was really helpful. Yes, we did this one right after lunch, so we're
Perfect.
Yeah.
fresh and
Perfect.
full.
I would say make sure you got enough screws in your build, because it does take. I mean, it doesn't take us long to get the screws because we're right here. However, if you're across the building and you know you run out of screws.
How many pouches did you use?
I have gone to 3, and as you can tell, I will probably go through 4th on just trying to get the rest.
Okay, now were
in.
you filling it all the way to the top, or were you
I was filling it to about here.
So probably 1 full pouch then?
Yeah, 1 full pouch would actually subside. So if anything, just have extras in a little box and an empty box just in case.
Okay, that you
8 in the field and 6 in the edges. The studs. So we marked them on our floor. So before you actually get your top sides up, right? You actually want to go ahead and mark all your studs on your actual drywall. On the lines right there.
Yeah, you can see these ones. Some of them are covered up now, but you can see we made marks, so we know where our studs are. As well as the bottom. That way you just, some studs do kind of, round about, and so you think that the stud's straight, but it's really just a little bit off, so that you might be off, and you don't want a whole bunch of holes where your screws are supposed to go. We marked on the wall. Yeah. Like behind, on the board behind.
Yes. So I sometimes even went a little under 8 inches. Usually I kind of use my hand as a reference because I measured my hand, but I mean, you can also use your drill. Your drill tends to be around 8 to 6 inches to the handle, and then 8 to the middle of the battery.
These are also pre-marked 8 inches. The 3 X's in the middle are all 8 inches apart. Yep. So those are convenient as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great. Perfect.
As far as the 6 inches, you could always use your level. It does have the increments on there as well.
I like the speed square.
I would say for students, it doesn't have to be perfectly 8 inches. I see a lot of people that would take their tape measure, and that you lose about half a minute just sitting there on one screw.
Right.
It can be less than 8 inches, as well as less than 6 inches. But don't focus so much on it that you're gonna lose time. Mm-hmm. That would be the biggest thing. Use your chalk-line.
Yeah.
He's marking the center of his ceiling joist so that when they go to nail, they know where the center of that ceiling joist is. Mark the center of every ceiling joist now, so you know where it's at.
Comes next time.
We'll get our stand set up here in length. You put yours this way, and you do yours. Okay. What you want to do is get a measurement from that corner to where 8 foot hits. Okay. Get your screws ready. Flip it over. Get on the end. Now we're going to take it. Yeah. Get it up over your head. So get on the inside. Yeah. Take it up over your head. All the way to the corner. Get up here with your screw gun. Come on. Yeah, put a screw in it. Come out 2 or 3 inches. Hey, pull it out. Pull that screw out. You want to stay about an inch in. There you go. All right, let's get an 8 foot sheet. Ready, Carol? You got to get up here. It doesn't have to be that tight. You got a 1/2 inch piece of sheetrock on that side that'll hide that 1/4 inch. You want to be able to not have to fight it. All right, you got something wrong here. Let's figure out what it is. You want your factory edge here, so measure from here this way, going this way. You good? Rick, it won't snap. Yep, give me a little cut. You got your hasp handy? Move your horse over. Are you tight in the corner? Something doesn't look square. Are you in that tight in that corner?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Put some screws in. You're going to give him a measurement from the wall to the edge of the box to the other edge, and from here to there. So you've got a mark right here, right? Let's move it over a little bit. Now she's going to give you a measurement up to that box. I'll go ahead and mark it out. Now, the trick, hold the sheet. So you got a pencil line right here?
Yeah.
Hold your tape.
5 7/8.
Bring it down to it.
Yeah.
All right, and same with here. Find your point and then just draw a line across. Use your tape and your finger up here as your guide. And now we'll see if Carol's measurements work. No, actually, this is right, but we should have measured from here, right?
Yeah, if we had measured from
So
here
what
to
was your
there,
measurement?
So he measured from there.
What was your measurement? 56?
It's 37.
37.
So 8 3/8.
Be done here, done.
Just trimming the sheetrock around the box a little bit. Quarter, so we're going to go 1 inch. And what's the outside edge?
I got 57 7/8.
67 and 7/8.
57.
57 and 7/8.
Yeah, and that's with that eighth taken off.
So a lot of people cut this bottom cut with a knife.
And we'll go 8.5. You always want to take some off.
Give me it exact and I'll
Make sure
minus a
it's
quarter.
factory side.
Now think about this. Your foot's got to be to the side. So typically,
Oh, so it can't slide. That's why it's always never worked for me.
so you put it to the side and then you come up
Okay.
on this side and go up.
I see.
Make sure you're on your mark. Okay, yeah.
There, yeah. So I can't get very deep that way, but I lie it down and pencil it, and then that's my shortcut of how to do it. So I'm not strong enough sometimes.
Oop. I'm going to swing. So you can see when you don't cut it deep enough,
Yeah.
what happens.
Is that okay if
Nope.
you can? No?
You lose too much time.
Okay. So what do you suggest for women who don't have that upper body strength to get it that deep? What should we do?
Well, that's why a sharp knife is critical,
Okay.
and it shouldn't. I mean, Carol, you're strong enough to push the blade of the knife in.
That was
should
my
be.
full strength though, and it's okay.
Ask your edge.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, that's not even close. Come look at this edge. Do you see white sticking past your cut?
Yes.
Okay, that's all got to go.
Doesn't have much on that side. All right.
Good?
Oops, sorry.
All right. You can actually lean it against her.
Okay.
You don't have to go in full depth. So just wiggle it. There you go.
Oh, okay. Cut traveled a little bit.
The rippers. All right.
Okay. Suspect this part right here is not
That's good.
quite.
Work. Are you tight?
Yep.
There's no solder.
It blew off when I hit it with the 120 mil.
So it wasn't hot enough. They got the top edge hot, but they didn't get the whole spinning.
Try that one corner first.
Go up now?
Yeah.
Can't get it to go in?
It's like, it just wants to push away. Oh, right in my eyes.
There's a nail plate there or something. Did we measure all the way down?
I did not, sir.
Let's just double check. Is that tight? 11?
No, that's with the quarter off. 11 over here.
So they should all be close to 11?
Where's my line right here?
Got it?
Yep. On my line.
Razor cut, Carol.
You got my knife? You got my knife. I don't got my knife anymore. Is it better to do it from the front or the back? Does it matter?
Should be able to snap it now. All right, you're cut. Snap it. Let's get it up, and we'll say we're done hanging.
I guess we got
Nah, 850.
850.
Yep.
I'm going to say about an hour it took us to hang this.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead and start screwing it off, and then we'll do the plug when. No, we'll cut a bigger one.
An hour and 7 minutes or so. What is your preferred time to hang the drywall ceiling?
If we could do it in an hour, we'd be really good. This is their first time to do different techniques and just hang the ceiling. So I think an hour and 7 minutes, they did fine. We had one hiccup with one box, and other than that, it looks good. Now they're going to screw it off. That should take them about another 30 minutes, and then we'll start hanging the walls.
Now, what is Juan Carlos doing?
He's putting the screws in per a certain screw pattern, and we tell him to do 8 in the field and 6 on the seams. So he does it a little closer, which doesn't hurt.
Time estimation you want to see this done? You said 30 minutes?
I always guess about 30 minutes they could have this screwed off.
Now, it isn't important if it's not exactly 8 inches. You can go under 8 inches. Makes it a lot faster.
All right, we are officially hung and screwed off on the sheetrock.
Juan Carlos, what time you got, Juan Carlos?
9:53.
9:53, so
31 minutes.
exactly 31 minutes, Dan. How do you feel about 31 minutes?
They're a minute over their schedule, but that's okay. They did really good.
For all 4 walls, what do you estimate?
Oh, I'm guessing about 2.5 hours. We should have it done, but we tossed lunch in there, so we're probably going to be closer to 3. He's insulating. You can put some marks on this sheetrock.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get that done, then we can hang the sheetrock. Oh, slide it up tight. If you can get it up all the way. There you go.
I think knowing what we're doing too, and just having a game plan, so that helps you just move it along, and having all the materials and supplies right on hand and the right tools.
How important is the flow and the rhythm where one is doing one thing, you're doing, or JC's doing one thing, you're doing another, and you guys are always doing something, always something.
Yeah, that really helps it keep going, that you can kind of pass it back and forth, and that kind of gives you the little breaks in between so you don't get too fatigued, but it makes it efficient. If one person has to switch between activities, kind of slows you down. You got to switch your tools, you got to switch your brain a little bit every time, so it's definitely efficient to split it up like that.
Since you have it down, you can
Yeah.
trim up the top of your box a little bit.
Yep. Like my bit went over there. Connect it. Okay. Do you have to do a cutout for the AC? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. There we go.
Right there?
Yeah.
So 80 and 5/8.
No, my bad. No, it's okay. My bad. I should have seen that.
So while she's screwing off this panel, he can start measuring out and start cutting the next one.
That's very important to be alternating. Somebody's always doing something else.
So you're basically going to kind of leapfrog each other. While one's doing one task, you're going to jump onto the next one. As that one's finishing it up, you're going to jump onto the next one. So you want to keep you can bury your cuts into the corners and underneath, but you want to keep your factory edges butted up to each other so you get a nice clean seam.
Over?
Yeah.
Ah.
So time management. So let's take a look at, so we got our sheetrock here. So our flight path is going to be going down this way. So we're going to have another person start clearing out the debris and kind of manage our workspace a little bit. One thing is you want to keep your job site clean and clear the clutter. One, it's a safety hazard. Two, if you're blocking your workspace, it kind of stops you from your flow, from moving along. We'll go ahead and butt it up to this one.
Okay.
And you have a little or you can set your almost done.
Yeah.
And then work at the end, didn't we, on the
The strategy.
3/4, so and just give yourself that little bit of room. The way you can also do is carry a single game box with you, put it on there, trace it, and that will help you if you can get your one of your sides and tops. Another way you could do this without using your pencil or marking it, you can put so we're cutting 45 1/4. So I'm going to put my thumb right there on 45 1/4. I'm going to hook it to the end of the drywall, and now I'm going to use the end of the tape just to make an impression in the drywall. So now I could put my T-square on there and cut without pulling out a pencil, dropping the pencil. Just cut the backside of it. So take your rasp and work that down a little bit. So I'm just giving her a hand here, and the good thing about working as a partnership is helping your partner with whatever they are doing. So if she's marking it, get the T-square ready. If she doesn't have a razor knife, hand her a razor knife. Just keep that momentum going forward, and just be one step of your partner so you can give them a good hand. Now we can start pulling measurements. So if you want, you start pulling your measurements, and then I'll start marking them on the drywall.
10 7/8. I'm sorry, 9 7/8. So that's over. It is at 14 1/2, and the outside edge is 16 7/8. 4 1/2. 51 5/6 or 5/8. I'm sorry.
51 and
5/8. talk to me a little bit?
We'll use that as an example.
Okay.
These are little
Corey, so we're rolling right now. When you're inspecting drywall, what are you looking for, sir? Thank you. You know,
So what we're looking for is the screws being flush with the paper of the drywall. So as you can tell, this one's a little sunken a little too far. You want to be pretty much flush with the paper or just countersunk. So when you go to tape these, you're not going to run your knife over the screws.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So this one right here, see how this one's a little sticking out a little too far in this one? So that's going to catch your mud when you run your knife over. You're going to hear that as your knife runs over it. So if you can hear it, that's sticking out too far.
and for the most part, are these Juan Carlos provided us with a bunch of examples of more or less how we do want it done?
So yes, so looking at these right here, these are a pretty good example of where we want to be. Just add the paper. That one's a little too deep right there, but for the better part, he's got a pretty good job of doing this right here. Nice and flush all the way down.
Very cool.
These ones right there.
And do you want to do that pallet test? So this is, what are we doing here?
So here we're just checking for the depth. One way to check is just to take your joint knife and run over these the screws. As you can hear, that one's a little too high. You can hear the knife kind of rake over it. So as you get, oh, here we go, right here. So here's a good example. These ones are a little too high. God, if someone would be a little quiet in the background.
We're just ultimately to close out, we want a screw that's not too deep in, but obviously not sticking out, right?
Exactly. You just want it flush with the paper. Once you go inside, you break that paper so the gypsum inside isn't going to hold the drywall. The paper actually does. So you want to be flush right here with the paper. Do you want me in here?
No, I'm just going to go ahead and start to walk back like this.